Good morning, everyone. How are you all feeling? Third day at Ignite? Yeah, all right. Hi, everyone. I'm Ramya Chitrakar, and I'm very excited to be here with you all today at Ignite and talk to you about all the things we are doing to secure agents and AI with Microsoft Defender. All right, so 3 days in, let's see if you've been paying attention. How many agents do you think will be created over the next 3 years? Ooh, somebody gave an exact answer. That's right. Somebody said 1.3 billion. That's the number that IDC estimates would be the number of AI agents that are going to be added to the workforce over the next 3 years. See, that number is fascinating to me. Let's just put that in context. That's adding approximately the current population of India or China to the workforce over the next 3 years. Let's unpack that a bit, though. It's not very surprising if you think about it, because when we speak to leaders, about half of them say that they're already using AI agents to fully automate their workflows and processes. Now, there are use cases, there's a broad variation in this, okay? We are seeing customer service agents that are triaging support tickets. We are seeing sales assistants that are updating CRM entries. We are also seeing coding assistants like GitHub Copilot to boost developer productivity. What we are also noticing is even regulation, highly regulated industries, right, like finance or healthcare, even they are using AI agents for data analysis and for customer interactions, of course, with proper oversight. Now, as we are noticing this variation in agentic use cases, we are also seeing a variation in the types of builders that are emerging along with it. We are seeing this new kind of builders emerge just as we're seeing this new kind of tools emerge for them. So whether we are talking about end user makers who are building low-code, no-code platforms like Copilot Studio, or developers that are using Microsoft Foundry. Now, everyone has tools to build AI agents at their fingertips. This democratization also means that you're going to see huge number of agents pop up across companies, and sometimes without central IT awareness. Now, while these agents are no doubt going to be boosting productivity, they're going to be adding amazing transformation and business value, but they are also going to create some risks that attackers are going to look to leverage. It's really important to understand this point. Agentic AI is going to introduce new attack surfaces that are going to slip past traditional defenses. Now, don't get me wrong, these agents are susceptible to traditional threat vectors as well, like those that are targeting underlying data, infrastructure, or applications. But threat actors can also exploit the agent's language understanding, right? Now, these slip past traditional defenses because there is no malware signature, there is no suspicious logging, simply context-rich text that can manipulate the AI's decision-making process. Essentially, it is hacking the AI's brain and not really targeting its underlying server or infrastructure. Now, these attacks are not just theoretical. How many of you have seen the news from Anthropic last week? If you've not, you should really read that article, because here is what attackers did. They actually compromised Claude Code and used its agentic AI capabilities to not just orchestrate the very large-scale espionage campaign, but the agent actually executed 80 to 90% of the attack itself without human intervention. That is huge. There are more of these kind. Let's talk about shadow leak. Here, there was an AI agent that was reading emails and that ended up causing data exfiltration. What happened here was there was no phish email. A user did not click anything. The mere fact that an agent was reading those emails caused it to spill data. There was a bug where the agent was unable to distinguish between user instructions and system instructions and ended up executing some hidden code that caused data exfiltration. Let's talk about one more of this. We are seeing these patterns of emerging attacks where they are targeting enterprise CRM agents. So here, this Agentforce leak went on like this. The agent could access customer data because it was helping support representatives, and the attacker used normal CRM fields like case description to hide some hidden commands. So what ended up happening is, as the agent was processing a case, it would just end up spilling data. Just think through the consequences of this kind of data exfiltration in the hands of attackers. Here is why we really had to focus to ensure that security and governance were core to the Agent 365. If you haven't seen the announcement, Microsoft Agent 365 is the control plane for all agents. It's an offer that composes multiple products, just like Microsoft 365 E5. For security, there's purpose-built capabilities to secure AI agents with Defender. We're going to spend the time today talking about that. Then there is identity and secure access provided by Entra, and there's data security and compliance provided by Purview. This offering also includes productivity tools such as Microsoft 365 applications, Power BI, and so on. Now let's spend the rest of the time talking about Microsoft Defender and all the things it is doing to secure AI agents. Let me start with our vision. Our vision is to provide comprehensive capabilities so that you secure your AI agents from build to runtime, regardless of who is building them and which platform they are building them on. So we think about this in two phases. First is visibility and posture management, so you're configuring your agents securely right from the start. Second is continuous monitoring and threat detection capabilities, so you can protect those agents during runtime, during their life cycle. So this comprehensive approach helps organizations stay on top of this, the scale at which these agents are being created, as well as providing consistent protection through the lifetime of these agents, again, like I said, from their build to runtime across all platforms. Simply put, it is about enabling customers to start secure and stay secure. First, about starting secure. Here, from a SOC perspective, there are really two things that we focus on. First is the visibility into all agents in your organizations. And then it is about understanding potential vulnerabilities and risks these agents create for your organization. From a visibility perspective, I'm really excited to announce the inventory for all AI agents in Microsoft Defender. With this view, just like you see with human identities and other assets, security teams and SOC analysts can see a prioritized view of all AI agents in their organization. At the same time, I'm very happy to share that our posture management capabilities that were previously only available in the Defender for Cloud portal are now available and embedded natively into Defender experiences. This inventory and agent views surface critical insights about an agent, such as agent identities and other insights that we are able to get from the builder platforms like Copilot Studio and Microsoft Foundry. With Agent 365, this view is only going to get richer, from Agent ID to Purview to even third-party insights that are going to be powering these experiences going forward. Now let's talk about agent-specific posture recommendations. These are about surfacing critical insights about potential misconfigurations and recommend best practices from code to cloud. Now, these recommendations are also surfaced in builder platforms like Microsoft Foundry so that AI agents get visibility to the security insights right at early in the life cycle of these agents. So think about it as a partnership, like a joint relationship between builders and defenders. And we don't quite stop there. We use attack path analysis to map potential posture issues so that you can be those that can be chained together and leveraged by attackers to compromise your organizations. At Ignite, we are also excited to announce bidirectional security integration with GitHub Advanced Security. So DevOps security issues, like think about repositories with code vulnerabilities, they are going to be surfaced in recommendations and attack paths. Similarly, we are going to take this runtime threat insights and then power them in GitHub, again, with the intent to shift security left. Okay, I've talked a lot. At this point, I'd like to invite Asaf Nakash, program manager on our team, to show you some of these amazing capabilities in action. Welcome, Asaf.
Thank you, Ram. Thank you, Ramya. Let me just see that just a second. And 4. You can see my screen, right? So first of all, happy to be here. For me, it's the first at Ignite speaking, so I'm very excited about that. Before we begin, this demo is going to focus on how we help customers start secure on protecting the AI agents. And we are looking at agents, as Ramya said, agents are being created all over the place on different platforms by different persons inside organizations. But the security team will really need to have a place that they can look at all agents for the same pace. And this is why in Defender, we are happy to announce a new unified view into AI agents. I'm getting into under asset into AI agents. Here, as you can see, it's a unified view of agents that are being deployed across my organization. Whether is it an AI Foundry or Copilot Studio, I see them in the same place. Security starts with visibility. This gives me the one place to go and see everything that I have in my organization. I can also zoom in a specific type of agent. For example, this is a code. First, more customizable agent the developer are building in my organization on top of AI Foundry. And here, I can see all of my agents are being sorted by the most critical one first. So the one that need my attention are higher on that list. For example, if I click on the first one, I get like a quick view of the basic information of that agent. I can see the agent ID. I can see his name, when it has been created. I can see what model he's using and what is the Foundry project that is using. Can also have like a glimpse into the recommendation and alerts that this agent have. Can also now open the complete agent page. And this is the place that I go to really understand an agent. Think about I'm coming to this page because I want to understand better. The first screen was in the context of where I am. This screen is in the context of the agent. And beside like the basic thing that we show you, one cool thing, and I will try to make it a bit larger, this is with the integration that we have with Defender Exposure Management. We can really see how this agent is connected to other resources in my cloud environments and my other agent and tools that the agent is being configured. For example, this Java Assist agent, I can see that it's using an additional agent called Procurement Management. Not only that I see that it's using that agent, I can see that Exposure Management has detected this agent as a critical asset in my organization. This gives me a better context of understanding where this agent is using and where it's connected to. I can also see tools that the agent is using. In this example, I see a tool called AI Search that the agent is using to ground the data. You can see that he's using that tool. In addition, Defender highlights specific risk factor that this agent have. We're thinking about reducing risk. I need to understand risk. So now I see the Defender has detected that this agent is grounded on sensitive data. We are doing that, but by really understanding the tools the agent have to ground data, and with the context we had from Defender for Cloud, we can verify if the things that this search is indexing are sensitive or not, and put it here. Now, many people building agent in my organization, and me as a security person, I want to make sure that the agent are being configured correctly from the get-go. We are doing that by detecting misconfiguration in agent and raising security recommendation. This will help me reduce the risk to the agent. Let's take the first one. So this recommendation shows when this agent has been connected to a different agent, I didn't provide an additional prompts or instruction for how to use the second agent. That means that when this agent is talking with the second agent, he can do everything he wants because I didn't put any boundaries. I didn't put any limitation, any guardrails that will help me make sure that this agent uses the second agent just for the specific task I intended to do. So I can see a complete description of what I need to do. And I can also have the steps I need to do in order to resolve that. The same recommendation going to be raised to the developer in AI Foundry. So we can really we are trying to put everything close to where we can quickly resolve them and reduce the risk. Last thing I want to show you, and that's again building on the foundation of exposure management and Defender for Cloud. Agents are using many other resources in my organization. It doesn't matter where the agent is being used and created. It can use a tool in my cloud environment. And we in Defender really have a very rich context on all of the misconfiguration in my cloud environments. Attack path is when several misconfigurations come together to form an attack. So let's look at one attack, for example. This is a possibility of attack. The way that we are doing that, we have a graph database with all of the resources there. All of the connection between the resources is on that graph database. And we play the role of the attacker, trying to find way to get into the organization and to get to the organization crown jewels. For example, this specific agent. So let's take one of them. And this is very interesting because you can see how many misconfigurations came together to thwart this possibility of an attack. So we have an internet exposed container with vulnerabilities that are reachable, so I can exploit them, that allow lateral movement with one of the users that the container have to an agent that is grounded on sensitive data, meaning the attacker can use this way in and change the agent instruction so the agent can return sensitive data. So let's see the graph that shows everything that I just told you. So in the middle, we have the container that is open to the internet and have vulnerability. On this container, I have a managed identity that have access to my agent. In addition, in the same place, I can see where this container is. So going south, let me just try to increase this a little bit. So I can see the Kubernetes pod that this container is being deployed on, and also the AKS cluster. Not only that, as we said, now we are working together with GitHub, and we add all of this rich data about how the agent is being deployed, how this container has been deployed. And I can see not only the repository, but also the image that contains those vulnerabilities. So for me, as a security admin, I can understand what exactly I need to do in order to reduce that risk. OK, so let me go back to the start. So in this quick demo, I showed you how we're helping security admin, first of all, to gain visibility on all of the agents that they have in their organization. Second, to really understand the critical agent that they have in the organization and understand the risk. And third is to reduce that risk in order to have a more secure environment. And with that, I will call Ramya back. Main. Good, thank you.
All right, thank you, Asaf. Now let's shift gears a bit, and we'll talk about how we are continuously monitoring and detecting threats at runtime, so we are ensuring that we continue to stay secure. Here, today we are excited to announce 3 new capabilities for securing AI agents with Microsoft Defender. The first one is our ability to detect jailbreak attempts. The second is new protections we are adding to block malicious tool invocations at real time. And finally, we are adding AI agent logs to Defender's advanced hunting experiences, and we'll talk a little bit more about each of these. All right, so we talked about how agentic threats are fundamentally different from traditional threats. Now, security teams face the following challenges. A lot of these attacks and techniques used, they mimic normal behavior. They hide in plain sight. Now, even with Copilot Studio's responsible AI, where it is quietly blocking these jailbreak attempts, if these attempts are not surfaced to security admins, you're losing a signal. That's where our new capabilities come in. First, Defender has new out-of-the-box detections for jailbreak attempts that are targeting agents. This capability is available today for Copilot Studio agents and will soon be available for Microsoft Foundry agents. So what we're doing is we're continuously scanning these AI agent logs for attempts and attacks, but we're not stopping there. We're actually going to correlate these signals with all the signals we get across Defender XDR so that the alerts we raise for our admins and security teams are high fidelity and we are not inundating them with false positives. With the recently announced new real-time threat protections, we are able to evaluate an agent's planned actions in real time. So think about it. We are able to stop and block any unsafe behaviors before the agent takes these actions in real time, preventing any unintended compromises or any unintended data exfiltration. Today, similar to the other alerts that we just talked about, these events also are going to generate alerts automatically that are correlated so that the SOC team has full visibility and context. So earlier, we talked about the inventory. We talked about all the inventory of AI agents that you see in Microsoft Defender. Now let's talk about additional capabilities we are adding for hunting so that you have broader context. We are announcing new agent-specific tables and experiences within Defender's advanced hunting. Defender will also ingest and surface logs for Copilot Studio agents as well as Microsoft Foundry agents. And with the new Agent365 Observability SDK, security teams are going to be able to hunt across third-party platform and agent activities as well. So to see some of these amazing capabilities in action, let me invite Moran Gutman, a program manager and a leader on our team. Welcome, Moran.
Thank you, Ramya. Thank you, Ramya. Hi, everyone. It's so exciting to be here. My first time at Ignite as well. So thank you very much. OK, so first of all, I would like to introduce you with our agent. So please meet our Java Customer Helper agent. This is a helpful agent. It's an autonomous one, which basically was designed and built to monitor incoming emails from our customers, to triage the ask and the request, to open a customer ticket if needed, and update our customer database records. Which one of you actually have those agents working in their organization? I saw one hand. OK, which one of you have AI agent working? Not autonomous one, just the regular one. OK, we're getting better. We're getting better. OK. So let's start with that agent. In order to build this agent, it needs to have two key tools. One is basically the connection to the customer database using the MCP server. And the second, a connection to be able to send emails, because when the customer sends email, we want to tell him, thank you, we acknowledge that, and we're handling your request. As an agent that has access to customer data, you can imagine it's a great target for our attackers. So are you ready for some attacker time, folks? Yes? OK, let's start playing. OK, can you see this email? Very polite one, right? OK, so I'm going to be your nice attacker today. And I'm going to try my luck. I'm going to send this email to our monitored inbox. Again, I'm very polite. But if you're going to take a second look, you can see that I'm implemented a hidden instruction. OK, this is a very known technique, basically just implement those hidden instructions and trying to manipulate the agent behavior, as Ramya just explained. Now, don't get panic. Some spoiler alert, because I see some of you starting to be a little bit stressed. OK, Defender is going to save the day. But bear with me. OK, so here the email just arrived to the monitor inbox. And you can see in real time, basically, we're going now to Copilot Studio activity map. OK, I'm going to try to attack Copilot Studio. And you can see that responsible AI, our AI, actually did its job and blocked that attack. Great job. So basically, we are saying to the attacker, no today, buddy, keep going. So I'm not going to give up so quickly. And I'm going to try again, trying again my luck. Now I'm trying to be a little bit more sophisticated. And I'm trying to actually understand the connection to the database. Again, the email is reaching our monitored inbox. And guess what? Again, our AI is going to block that. Great job, AI. And now I'm going to rephrase my attack. You can see that I'm actually trying to understand all the internal tools that the agent has access to. Because if I will be able to figure that out, I will be able to understand which data I can actually go and pull. OK? And you're not going to be surprised that, again, RAI blocked that attack. But I do want to stop for a second, OK? Because you can say, OK, I don't care. As a security team, all of that was blocked. But folks, something is actually happening here. So behind the scenes, Defender quietly watch all those interactions, OK? Correlate it with additional signals. And all those attempts, they don't go unseen. Defender spot those and will fire alert into Defender XDR, making sure the security team have the visibility for those attempts. Now, your relentless attacker, that is not going to give up. So now I'm going to escalate, actually, my attempts. And I'm going to be even more sophisticated. And I want you to take a look. I changed just a little bit the hidden instruction. Now I'm a security engineer. And like my mom always told me, this is the way to get in. You need to go and be an engineer. So let's see what happens now. OK, the email is coming. And this time, RI actually missed that. But as I said, don't get panicked, because this is exactly where Defender real-time protection coming into play. Real-time, inline, using direct integration with Copilot Studio, we are intercepting any tool invocation. And when we identify any malicious behavior, we're going to block it. And we're not going to stop there. After we block it, we will provide an alert into Defender XDR, letting the security team, the SOC team, to know that this attack was actually happened. Now we're going to move to the demo phase. And so give me a second. Let me know where you can see my screen. Not yet, it's coming. OK, coming up. OK, so just I'm going to summarize what we see and recap. There was 3 attempts for jailbreak that were blocked. And then there was another, basically real-time protection, where it's blocked the tool invocation in real time. Take a close look. I'm going into XDR incidents queue. And now you can see this incident. And if we'll expand that, you can see the exact 2 alert that we generated using our attack simulation. Okay? Defender actually correlate those alerts into one incident, give you one unified view of everything that happened. So let's go into that incident. OK. Take a closer look into the, actually the incident graph. Now you can see that there is not only one agent that was actually attacked here, which is the Zava customer support, but there was another one that was participating here. OK, so something really suspicious happens here. Let's go into the AI agent tool invocation alert, the one that was blocking the tool in real time, and take a closer look. Here you can see all the details on the alerts. In the alert side pane, you can find exactly the alert details, the detection, and what was blocked. But let's start with what happened. Let's really understand what happened. You can see that Defender actually lists that it was blocked in real time, but not only that, it even gives you the indication of what was the tool that was blocked, which in that case was the option to send the email outside. In addition, you will see list of recommended action, give your SOC team step-by-step guidance of what to do next, how to contain or how to follow up if needed with this incident. And finally, you will see all the related events of these incidents, all the activities correlated together. If you want to go deeper, you can. You can go into advanced hunting using the Cloud Apps events table to start correlating it with additional signals and really to get into the bottom of it. But now I do want to share with you a very exciting announcement we have as part of Ignite. Okay, going back to the incidents, with Defender new integration, we have an AI agent entity that actually allows us to track the agent from the exposure management part, the inventory, to the threat and investigation experience. Remember Asaf demo? All of that you can get one unified view of the agent, of the full life cycle of that agent. So let's click here on that agent. And let's go into that detail. You can see that there is a new side pane open with all the details you need about this agent, the agent name, the description, who created it, who the owner of that. This is not always the same person. You can see all the alerts that related to that agent, and so on. If you want, you can go into the agent page, the same one that Asaf showed you before. So right now, I'm looking at that agent. I see the details, but I feel like I need more details. I really want to understand what is it about this agent that this attacker was actually trying to find. So I'm going to click on Go Hunt. And if you will take a closer look, you can see that there is a new table under Advanced Hunting called the AI Agent Info. This table will give you all the details that you need on your AI agent. So I'm going to run this query, and I will pull the most recent record I have on this agent. And if I expand it, I can find all the details that I need that can help me with my investigation. I can, again, see the agent name, ID, but I can see the agent triggers as well, okay? And all the agent tool details. So going back to the alert, if you remember, the tool that was blocked was basically the option to send external emails. But let's take another look. What else I can see on this agent? And what you can notice that this agent has the Dataverse MCP server. Okay, and here's the catch with MCP servers. Okay, those usually they will have a broad set of permission, like read, write, modify. But in many cases, the only thing that your agent needs is maybe just read. Okay, so this is a great way basically not to follow the least privilege principle. And this is something that we would like to fix and handle. So now I understand what happened. I understand how severe this attack could have been. And yeah, I can go and grab my coffee now because Defender already did the work for me, blocked the attack. But I do want to get my promotion this year. So I want to get more details. Like maybe I have more engines in this organization that's falling under the same patterns. So just to make your life really, really easy, if you go to queries, under community queries, you're going to find a new table called AI agent. This has a set of several pre-built queries that are going to help you to identify all the risky agents that you have, all the misconfigured one, the one with excessive permission, and so on. So all you need to do is just go here, click on those queries, and get the list of the agents that not really comply with what we think are recommended best practices for AI agent. So again, going back to our attack, and let me make sure that this is readable enough, you will be able to identify agent that's sending emails outside of the organization, or agent with MCP tool configured, or the one with maker credential, okay? And this is really kind of closing our story because, yeah, I started it with attack. But again, going back to my friend Asaf, if you will manage the posture of the agent, handle any exposure violation, you can really reduce the attack surface and make sure that those attacks won't happen. And if it does, we are here to save your agent back. So thank you very much. And with that, I will call back to Ramya.
All right, Moran, I'll ask you to stay back here on stage because one, I hope you're as excited to see these capabilities, just as excited as we are to build them, and we're going to keep doing that. We're checked on time. I think we have time for a few questions, comments, observations. If I can invite Asaf and Moran back on stage, we'll take a few of those for you now. There's a mic up here, so you're welcome to come up and ask your questions. Please.
First of all, is this available already? And if so, for government G5 licenses in XDR, is that available right now at the same time as E5, or is down the road?
Okay, I'm going to repeat the question for any of you who did not capture it. The gentleman's question was if these capabilities are available now, and especially for government customers for G5, et cetera. I'll let you address.
For Gov customer, this
Correct.
is not yet available, but it will become available, obviously, once we move to GA.
So what I'll do is I'll leave this open if you're capturing or if you're heading out, so you have this access to that. So you'll be able to see what capabilities are available for securing Copilot agents today, Microsoft Foundry agents, as well as early access to our Agent 365 program via the Frontier program. So I'll leave that up here. And any other questions? Yes, please. Yeah, it would be great. I got part of your question. Thank you so much.
My question was that if an AI agent is compromised, right, what measures there are? I know that there's quarantine capabilities and certain avenues that we can, prevent that from taking, a backseat. So with that, like, what other measures there are in place
You mean what will be the measure to actually respond to those attacks?
If an AI agent is compromised, because I
Yeah.
know we are on the defensive side of mitigating the risk,
Right.
but if the AI agent itself is doing something similar to what we see with Anthropic, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So we talked about some of the capabilities where blocking the agent capabilities, the ones that Moran demonstrated, which is stopping the agent before they take action. Is that the kind of measures that you were looking for, or what else we have? One is the example that comes to mind. Anything else that you wish to add, Asaf or Moran?
Yeah, so you as a security personnel inside the organization, when you see an agent that you don't only think that a specific attack has done, but the entire agent is compromised, or the agent itself is not configured correctly, you can then prompt the developers or prompt the IT to revoke that agent. You can, instead of being published, to unpublish it, so it will not be available any longer.
Yeah. And in the future, we will add the response capabilities inside Defender, basically to have the ability to quarantine the agent as well.
Yep.
This goes on the lines of our automated attack disruption, like we do for human identities. As an example, you're going to expect similar capabilities for non-human identities. A good example of that is agentic identities. It's a great question. Thank you. Yes, please.
I may be misinterpreting what I saw yesterday, but I think I saw Foundry with a list of the agents in it, and only some of them had a Entra ID at this stage. Some of them did not. Do the capabilities that you've described here require the agent to have its identity, or can you track with Defender before it gets that identity?
I can.
Okay, go for it.
So basically what you saw here specifically are based on a direct integration with the platform. So there is no prereq to have Entra ID in order to be available in that inventory. Obviously, this will be in complete sync and align with the Entra inventory as well. Okay, but in that case, you will be able to identify other agents that even if they are not registered, but they are working with those platforms, this will be coming up in Defender. Okay.
You're asking a great question because we anticipate there's going to be a proliferation of agents, right? There's going to be first-party agents, Copilot Studio, Microsoft Foundry, but expect that that's why we are announcing Agent 365, because our intention and understanding is there's going to be all kinds of agents, first-party and third-party, and our intention is to provide comprehensive coverage across all of them. Now, of course, we are going to be integrating with Agent ID so that we are going to try our best to make sure that we're integrating them so you have one single registry of all agents, exactly. But from a Defender perspective, our aspiration is to be global, right? Cover everything that you have in your organization. You can expect shadow AI, just like you have shadow AI, you're going to expect shadow agentic AI that is going to be operating in your environment. So our intention is to cover all of it.
Yep. Actually, today in Posture, we are detecting agent, no matter what is the agent ID provider. Entra will give you new set of capabilities of really understanding how an agent user should look, how the agentic identity should look, and how you understand what the agent is doing and how you give permission, reduce permission, handle all of that. This will only take you to the next stage. But it's not a prerequisite. The way we see it, in Posture, we want to give you the complete visibility of all of your agents. Some of them, maybe you want to prompt them to be an Entra user afterwards.
Yeah, please go for it, Moran. Yeah.
Just a quick follow-up on that last point.
Yeah.
Is there a thought of maybe assigning a guest ID to a foreign agent that you've discovered so I can do some more tracking in the world of conditional access, et cetera?
Yeah, I'll speak from Entra's perspective, right? What I've seen them as their vision, again, is to be a registry, right, of first-party and third-party agents. So everybody has some sort of an identity that can be the linchpin so that you have a grounding factor. So the intention is to do that, and they are starting now, and there's going to be a lot more coming.
Yes. Back.
So I have a question, please. In Defender CSPM, see that it's also covering the environments from AWS and GCP as well.
Yes.
And we'll be seeing those as Entra agents as well from AWS and GCP Vertex AI or not?
That is, I think, very much on the lines of the question this gentleman was asking about. Entra's vision is also to be a registry, right? It's an inventory, basically collecting agents regardless of their source, and we intend to be multi-cloud, as you mentioned.
Okay.
Anything you wish to add from an agent?
From the Posture perspective, we are detecting agents on multi-cloud platform, can detect them on AWS and GCP too. All of them are coming very, very soon. And the same misconfiguration are being, for each one of those platforms, we detect specific misconfiguration that are part of that platform, and we build attack path cross-platform and cross-cloud. Because we put everything on the same graph, it doesn't really matter where you get in. You can get in from an agent in Azure and go in and attack an agent with MCP server in AWS. We will detect them.
Okay, so basically for the AWS and GCP, currently, as far as I know, we have only Defender CSPM plan, but we will be getting also Defender for AI as well. They separate?
Okay, so currently, the Defender for AI agent and Defender for AI SPM part, it's the posture management part, is part of Defender CSPM with no additional cost, and currently it's included.
Perfect.
Expect with the Agent 365, so if you haven't checked that out, I'd encourage, the link points you to the early access program. You should check that out because you can expect more and more of our security for AI capabilities all under the broader Agent 365 umbrella.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Anyone else?
All right, I will get us to a close. I do want to, if there's, just before I close out, I'd add one point. If I can leave you with one thing, I hope you all have internalized that agents are here to stay and the threats they bring along with them are real. So as you're seeing your organizations empowering people to create more and more of these agents, I urge you all to think about the urgency to secure these AI agents. And I encourage you to try these capabilities that we're building in Microsoft Defender from build to runtime across all platforms, as some of you have just asked the question for. We are aware of it, and our vision is to have that broad coverage regardless of the platforms. With that, we'll have you take a survey, and thank you so much for being with us today. Enjoy the review.
Thank you.